Welcome to the Respectful Divorce Podcast. If you're considering divorce, it's important to know that you have options for how you divorce. On the Respectful Divorce Podcast, we explore those options and provide advice from divorce professionals. I'm your host, Tim Crouch, and today we're talking with members of the Connecticut Council for Non-Adversarial Divorce. Joining us today are Rosemarie Ferrante, a family law attorney in Danbury, Connecticut, Lisa Gresham, a Certified Divorce Financial Analyst in Madison, Connecticut, and Jennifer Luise Champagne, a mental health professional in Shelton, Connecticut. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Tim.
So let me begin. And first of all, Rosemarie, you're the president of the Connecticut Council for Non-Adversarial Divorce. That's quite a name. What is that? What is that group, and what does that name mean?
Sure. So the Connecticut Council for Non-Adversarial Divorce, also known as CC&D, is Connecticut's statewide nonprofit professional organization of Connecticut mediators and collaborative divorce practitioners. And so our membership includes not only attorneys, but mental health professionals and financial specialists. Our mission is to change the way people divorce and separate in Connecticut by reducing conflict and improving the lives of family members, especially the children. So we not only have members who are trained in family and divorce mediation, but also in the collaborative divorce process.
And so maybe just the non-adversarial part of that, going to court is adversarial in nature. So what does it mean to be non-adversarial, and what are the benefits of that?
Sure. So as we all know, traditional litigation involves spouses hiring attorneys and going through a court process. We avoid that in non-adversarial divorce. So in both mediation and collaborative divorce, these are private sessions. The timeline is up to the participants and their team. We promote dignified and respectful conversations and discussions. People are tasked with respectful, collaborative, good faith negotiation and full transparency. And the court does not get involved until there's final agreement. So all of the work that's done with the spouses and the team that they choose is done privately and behind the scenes without court involvement. Ultimately, the court does, of course, need to review and approve their agreement to enter final judgment for divorce.
So each of you are members of this organization, but you bring different skill sets into the process, and I want to kind of touch on some of that with each of you. But beginning with, from your perspective as divorce professionals, what's it like to go through a divorce in Connecticut? And Lisa, let me start with you on that.
Thank you, Tim. Well, really, a divorce in Connecticut, from my perspective, is very similar to a divorce anywhere else, because most of the work that I do is working with families and helping them come to decisions that they are in charge of making, as opposed to a litigated divorce where there is often another person that is making the decision for the couple. So in the state of Connecticut, I personally do not see too much litigation. I do very little litigation support, and most of the work that I do is with couples together in helping them come to decisions that they are in charge of making.
Yeah. And Jennifer, from your perspective, I mean, you see the emotional impact of divorce. What is it like from your perspective for your clients who are going through divorce?
From my perspective, when families are going through a more traditional litigated divorce, I find that the family is not getting necessarily the attention and the support that they need. They're not getting those emotional and parenting pieces addressed in the way that they would had they chosen a different type of an option. While the court system certainly has a lot of goals and outcome that is driven from participating in it, making sure that the family's needs and helping them get from being divorced to that ultimate end process doesn't get the support that it might necessarily get in a different process.
And of course, Rosemarie, you're in the court process more directly. What is a litigated divorce in Connecticut like compared to these non-adversarial processes?
Well, I'm happy to say I don't litigate at all. So I probably am not the best person to answer that. I can tell you that I used to, and I don't litigate at all anymore. Frankly, I think court's the worst place for families to make decisions, particularly because they have ongoing relationships. So, what I would share from my perspective of divorce in Connecticut is that people who are divorcing are looking for better ways, and they're looking for healthier transitions. We just this past year passed the Uniform Mediation Act and the Uniform Collaborative Law Act. And it really symbolizes a shift in what people are looking for. And to echo what Jen said, the real difference between litigation and a collaborative divorce process is the support that people need on the emotional and on the financial side. And that makes the legal a lot smoother.
Yeah. So for attorneys, there's this paradigm shift that you really have to go through. What is it like to be an attorney in the collaborative process today versus what you experienced when you were litigating?
It's night and day. And from a professional standpoint, it's a much healthier place to be as a professional, and it feels like a much better place in terms of being able to help guide families. I think the real difference for attorneys who litigate and attorneys who do collaborative divorce is understanding that we don't know it all, and we can help people get to settlement, but that doesn't help families transition to a healthy post-divorce life. And it's really the power of the neutrals in a collaborative divorce process that set people up best for success.
Yeah. So let's talk about what that means to be a neutral. Lisa, as a neutral financial professional, what does it mean to be neutral, and how do you go about the work that you do in a divorce case?
That's a really good question. And that's a question that the clients will ask when I first meet with them. Basically, my role is to gather and be in charge of everything financial. So anything that has a number on it is what I am focused on primarily. So my job with the clients to start is just to have an understanding of what their financial life looks like. I always say that it's easier to edit than it is to create. And so I like to have the clients have an understanding of where they are currently, what their financial life looks like, who handles the expenses, who pays the bills, who earns the money, things like that. And so I gather all of that information and put it into a couple of reports that are very easy to understand. So we're looking at the financials as a whole, as opposed to when you're litigating and you only see one person's side. So that's my role with the clients, and to help educate them about what they have and how they're going to disentangle financially. But my role is also to help and support the other members of the team, and to educate them on the financials that the clients will have, which are sometimes very complex. And so that's my role as a team member and as a neutral. So I'm working with both clients together and really trying to help them consider and structure something that's going to work for their family as a whole and not just for one person.
Yeah. And Jennifer, as a mental health neutral in a collaborative case, what is your role?
I have a couple of roles as well, Tim. Some of the thing is a little overlap with Lisa as far as the team component. When it comes to the team working with a financial person and the attorneys and the parents in trying to help everybody move forward with good communication, help everybody able to, especially the parents, talk about their goals, their interests, and help everybody work cohesively through those communications. The work that I do directly with the parents is multifaceted. It's usually centered primarily around their children, what it is that they hope for their children as they're moving into a two-home life. That would include creating their parenting plan, helping them talk to the children about the upcoming changes that are going to happen in their family as they're going to start separating households, and helping them create more of a roadmap for what that co-parenting relationship is going to look like, so that they have the support and guidance and education as they go through on how to make that transition as easy as possible for the children as they're in the midst of making some very serious decisions that are going to impact them and their whole family now in the next year or two, and kind of in that long range plan. So my role is twofold: the direct work that I work with the parents, and then my place in the team of helping everybody to work together.
And Lisa, I want to come back to one part of your work that as I have talked to folks, I hear on a regular basis that is one of the more powerful pieces of what happens in the collaborative process, and that is the financial person is able to help the couple sort of see what their post-divorce financial life is going to look like and start to do some budgeting and things like that. Tell me about that.
That's right. And that's a very integral part of the process and getting the people to be able to come to an agreement. So I will draft what I call what if scenarios. So looking at different possible options for settlement in dividing their assets and often debt and their income and expenses, spousal support, child support. And so we can look at different options in different scenarios and say, if I follow this path, this is what is likely to happen. And what that does is it gives the clients an opportunity to kind of look into the future and say, this is what I can expect. And a lot of the fear that people feel when they're going through this process is the unknown, the fear of the unknown. And so by being able to look at possible scenarios, it enables them to replace that fear with more of a feeling of comfort and acceptance in what they can expect.
And Rosemarie, one of the hallmarks of all of this is there's a commitment that everybody in the process makes, not just the clients, but the professionals, not to go to court, right?
Yes, it's the collaborative law participation agreement, and all of the professionals and the spouses sign it. And we usually start the collaborative process with discussing it so everyone understands the parameters of the process they're entering into and the guidelines. And one of the most important parts of that is if anybody files with court, unless agreed by the whole team for some reason or another, that the process is over, it's terminated, and neither of the attorneys can represent their clients in court in litigation.
Why is it important to have that commitment to not go to court?
Yeah, because, you're really signing on to a private process. And when everybody is invested in the process, they're that much more likely to stay involved in the process. There is a subset of attorneys who don't sign that agreement because they feel that they practice collaboratively, but that's not a commitment to this process.
And it's not a commitment because it means that they can threaten court? Correct.
And that really is the antithesis of what this process is about. So there shouldn't be any threats of going to court if meetings don't go well. Divorce is hard. The discussions are difficult. But if everybody's committed to a respectful process, then everyone is all in. And that's really the hallmark of the collaborative divorce process.
So we're recording this podcast before Divorce with Respect Week, which is coming up March 1st through 8th. And it's an opportunity for people to talk for free to divorce professionals. It could be the legal side, it could be the financial side, or it could be from a parenting or mental health side. If someone does a consultation with each of you as part of the Divorce with Respect Week, what kinds of questions can they expect to have answered? What can they learn from that consultation? Jen?
So one of the first questions that I would ask parents is, what would their hope be for the process and for their family once they get through the process? When parents ask that answer that question for me, it gives me a sense of what it is that they are hoping for. And it gives me an opportunity to talk through the collaborative process and options for them in hopes of getting them a process that will work well for them.
Yeah. Lisa, if someone does a consultation with you, what can they expect?
Well, I would start in a similar way that Jen and probably Rosemarie would start as well. And that would be just in describing the different options that they have, and to make sure that they know what their options are, but also to determine what is going to fit best for them. So, and then I would talk about the kinds of information that I would need. And I would also want to know how they communicate presently. So if, it's very important in the collaborative process that the clients can speak for themselves. And if they have a hard time doing that, then collaborative might not be a good fit for them. They have to really be able to express how they're feeling and what their thoughts and interests and goals are.
Yeah, and Rosemarie, I guess part of that is to say that ultimately they're the decision makers. The couple makes the decision, not a judge or not any members of the team.
Exactly right. And that's something that I would talk to them about, whether some people feel the first stop should be the lawyer's office and they have to file. And I would explain the difference between that process and the collaborative process, and also ask them about their family to understand the dynamics to assess whether the collaborative divorce process is a good fit for them.
All right. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us today. If someone would like to reach out to you individually, what's the best way to get more information about you or to contact you? Rosemarie?
My website is divorcemediationct.com. And the CC&D's website, by the way, is gooddivorcect.com, where you can find a full directory of all of our members.
All right. Lisa?
Same for the Connecticut CCND website. And then my website is equitabledivorce.net. And I have an inquiry page on my website.
All right. And Jennifer?
Same, being listed on the CCND website. And my personal website is my name, jenniferluisechampagne.com. And I also have a contact me button on the website page that they can reach out to me directly via email.
All right. We're going to put links to everybody's website and also to the Connecticut Council for Non-Adversarial Divorce in the show notes. Again, thank you all for being with us today.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
For those of you who have been watching us online, thank you for watching the Respectful Divorce podcast. This important programming note, Divorce with Respect Week is March 1st through 8th. During Divorce with Respect Week, you can talk with lawyers, divorce coaches, divorce financial experts for free. To learn more about the divorce process and your options, simply go to divorcewithrespectweek.com to find professionals near you. Divorce with Respect Week, March 1st through 8th. For more information, divorcewithrespectweek.com. I'm Tim Crouch for the Respectful Divorce podcast, reminding you that